Good morning, viewers. Welcome to today's lesson. Today on 8th of December 2020. So today I want us to continue with the surface areas, and I would like us to do surface areas of something else apart from cylinders. We have been looking at cylinders, but today I want us to look at something else. So I want to write that it's mathematics. The topic is measurement. And you're going to look at surface area, surface areas. So first you're going to look at surface areas of cubes. Then you look at surface area of cuboids. So welcome to today's lesson. Remember, this is Elimu channel, Elimu Live, that runs every day from Monday to Friday, 8:15 to 10:15. So welcome. Today is 8th December 2020. So with me I have two boxes. I have this one and I have something else here. So one is a cube and the other one is a cuboid. So we have a cube. We have a cube here. A cube is a 3-dimension figure whereby it has all the edges equal. All the edges of a cube are equal. So I have one and I also have another one. Now this one is a cuboid. In a cuboid we have some sides, or rather is a 3D whereby not all the edges are equal. So in this one you're going to look at it later. So I want us to concentrate on a cube. So if you have a look at the cube, let us first of all look at the properties of a cube. So a cube has 12 edges. It has 12 edges, and if I have one here, we can count together. We have the first edge here, 1. We have another one here, 2. We have 3. Okay, 4, we have 4. Then we have 5, 6, 7, and then we have 8. Then we have these heights, 1, that is 9, 10, 11, and 12. So what you'll notice about the edges, they are all equal. All the edges are equal. Then 2, it has 5 faces. Now, which are these 5 faces? I will start with this one. This is 1. So the first face. I have the second one here. I have the third one. We have the third one. Then we have the fourth one. So we are done with those ones. We have the fifth one. We have the sixth one. This one. So it has 5 or 6 edges when, or 6 faces when it is closed. So we have the first face, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Then we have the fifth one. And then we have the sixth one. So 6 faces. Then about the faces, you'll also notice if all the edges are equal, then all the faces are all equal. Then in addition, we have the third characteristic or property of a cube. It has 8 vertices. 8 vertices. What is a vertex? A vertex is a point where 1 or rather 2 or 3 edges meet. So in this case I have this corner here 1, I have another one here 2, I have 3, I have the 4th one, then on the other side I have 5th, 6th, then I have 7th and 8th. So those are 8 vertices. Now if I can draw, I'll draw a cube. So I have a cube. We have said all the edges are equal. These are the edges. The edges are the lines that combine to make a cube. So we have, these are 12. If I can add so that you can see all of them, we'll have that. So all these are equal. Then if I have a net, the net of a closed cube, it will look like this. I have this 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have this side and I have this side. So that is the net. Although it doesn't look like a cube, but let me draw the net where all the squares are equal. So we have that a net of a cube where we have said all these are equal. These are the edges. Some of them will combine 2 of them to make one edge when we fold it to a solid. So that is a net of a cube. So I want us to look at the surface area of that cube. So I'm going to delete here so that we can work out the surface area. So surface area of a closed cube. So you are first of all going to look at the closed cube, and this is what you are going to find out. If you want to find the surface area, we are going to find out the surface area of these faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Now what you realize is all the faces have the same, or rather have the same length of the edges. So the edges are equal in all of them. So what you'll find that the area of 1, the first face, will be equal to the area of all the other faces. So all the faces have the same area. So to find the area, we are going to find the area of one face, then we multiply by the number of faces. How many faces do we have? We have, as we have written, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 faces. So area of one face times 6. Then remember, area of one face will be a square. So this is a square. So the edge, we call it the length. So the length of one side of the square face is L. So to find the surface area, we are going to find area of one face, that is length times length, then we multiply by the 6 faces. The surface area of a cube is simply like that. Area of one face, which is length times length, then we multiply by 6. So I'm going to give you several examples of the same. Then we go to open cube. Then after that, we are going to go to the cuboids. So I have example 1. What is the surface area of a cube of size 6 centimeters? Let me remove my cube. So you draw a cube. We have a cube there. Remember, we have said all the edges are equal and the area of all the faces are equal. So we have that. So the length is 6 centimeters. What is the surface area of that closed cube? So what you do, you write the formula. Area of a closed cube will be length times length, then we multiply by the number of faces, which is 6. So you find the area of one face, you multiply by the number of faces which you have counted. You have seen there are 6. So it will be simply 6, the length, times the length of the cube. Remember, all the lengths are equal, all the edges are equal. Then we multiply by 6. Then we have 6 times 6 is 36. Then we multiply by 6, we get 216 centimeters squared. So it is simply like that. Surface area of a closed cube of side 6 is 216, whereby we have said you find the area of one face like this one, which measures 6 by 6 because all the measurements are the same. So 6 times 6, we get the area of one face, then we multiply by the number of faces, which you have found to be 6. So surface area of this cube is 216 centimeters. Another one, find the area, total surface area of a cube of sides 18 centimeters. So we have that 18 centimeters, and don't forget it's a cube. A cube has all the edges equal. And what we have said is to find the area of a closed cube, you find the area of one face, which is length times length, then multiply by 6 faces because the area of all the 6 faces is the same or is equal. So what you do, you are going to have 18, we multiply by 18, that is the area of this face, that is one face, then we multiply by the number of faces, which is 6. So we multiply 18 times 18 is 324. Then we multiply by 6, we are going to get 1,944 centimeters squared. So that is simply how we get the surface area of a closed cube. So if I may get out of there, sometimes you may be given the surface area of a cube, of a closed cube, and then you are asked to find the length of one side. And sometimes you may be asked to get the total length of all the edges. So the first thing is you have to understand how to get the area, and you have seen the area is L times 6. That is the length of one edge times the other one to get the area of one face, then multiply by the number of faces. Then from there, after knowing how to find the area, now we can do the reverse. You are given the total surface area of a closed cube, and then you are required to find the length of either one of the side or the length of the total edge, the total length of all the edges of a cuboid. So all of them inclusive, let us look for work out the side of a cube given the total surface area. So you have to know how to find the area of a surface area of a closed cube, then you reverse that. We find the length given the total surface area. So I'll have the total surface area of a closed cube. So I write the total surface area of a closed cube is 726 centimeters squared. Then you are asked, what is the length of one side of the cube? Of one side of the cube. So as we have said first, you have to know how to work out the total surface area of a closed cube. So I'm going to draw a cube here, and in this case is closed. So I have a cube. We don't know the length and we are looking for it. And we have the surface area. So we are going to write surface area is equals to 726 centimeters squared. So we are working out for the length. Now first we write the formula of getting the total surface area. Surface area is equals to, we have said length times 6. Now we are looking for the length given the total surface area. What do we do? To get the length, we are going to take the surface area given, we divide by 6. When we divide by 6, you are going to get the area of one face. So we find the area of one face. And since we have said all the faces have the same length, or rather have the same area, so you are going to get the total surface area. This 726 is the area of all the 6 faces. So to find the area of one face, we divide by 6, and then after that, we find the square root to get the length of one side. So to get the length, take the surface area, divide by 6 to get the area of one face, then you'd find the square root to get the length of one side of the cube. So I have this, you are going to do like this, 726, we divide by 6. What is 726 divided by 6? Then after that, we find the square root. So let us divide. We cancel by 6, we get 1. When we cancel by 6, we are going to get 121. And this is centimeters squared because it's the area of one face of the cube. Now to find the length of one side, we are going to find the square root of 121. So what is the square root of 121? So we look for the number you multiply by itself to give you 121, and we get it's 11 centimeters. So the length of a cube whose surface area is 726 is 11 centimeters. So that is 1. So I want us to look at it again, how to find the length of a closed cube given the surface area. So we start with the surface area, which is length times 6. And then we have said to find the length, you take the surface area given, divide by 6. Why do we divide by 6? We have said all the 6 faces have the same area. So the surface given is the total of all the faces, the total area of all the faces which are equal. So you divide by 6 to get the area of one face. So when you divide, you are going to get the area of one face. Then to find, and remember this face is a square. So we are getting the area of a square face. So the area of a square face is 121. Then to find the length, you find the square root of that to get the length. So I'll give you another one very fast. So I'll give you the total surface area of a closed cube is 1176 centimeters. So this one, you're not going to get the length of one side. We are going to get the total length. What is the total length of all the edges of the cuboid? Of the cube, not cuboid, sorry, of the cube. So we have the total surface area of a closed cube is 1176 centimeters squared. Then the question is, what is the total length of all the edges of the cube? So I want to delete this. I clean, then I clean from here. Because you're using the same formula, to get the length of the length of a cuboid, we have surface area. You divide by 6 to get the area of one face, then you find the square root to get the length of one side of the cube. So we have this surface area is length times 6. To get the length is surface area, you divide by 6, then you find the square root. Now this question is not asking for the length. It's asking for the total length of all the edges of a cube. But for you to work out, you have to get the length of one side of the cube. So what you're going to do, we are going to look at the side whereby we are going to take the surface area of the 6 faces, we divide by 6, then we multiply the square root. Remember what we have said? When we divide by 6, we are getting the area of one square face of a cube. Then we find the square root to get the length of one side of the cube. So we are going to divide by 6, we get 1. By 6, we have 144. So if you divide, you are going to get 100, sorry, not 144. It is 196. I think I'm moving faster. So 196 centimeters squared. So that is the area of one side of the cube, or rather one face of the cube. So to get the length, we are going to find the square root of 196, and you are going to get 14 centimeters. So the length of one side of a cube is 14 centimeters. So this is 14 centimeters. And remember, we have said all the edges of a cube are equal. How many edges do we have? When we started, we said that a cube has 12 edges, and we have indicated very well that these 12 edges are all equal. So if you are getting the total length, we are getting the total length of all the edges. We are going to get the length of one edge, which is 14. We multiply by the total number of edges, which are 12. So when we multiply 14 times 12, we are going to get 168 centimeters. So that is the answer to our question here. So the total surface area of a closed cube is 1176. What is the total surface? What is the total length of all the edges of the cube? So you find the length of one cube, then you multiply by 12 to get the total area, the total length of all the edges. So that is what we have for the area of closed cube. So I hope you have understood as we move on to the total surface area of an open cube. So I want to clear here so that we can go to area of open, total surface area of open cubes. So I'm going to draw a cube here. A cube. Then we indicate that all the edges are equal, and then it is open. So when you look at it, it looks like it's open. So we have that. So when we draw a net, I have a net of an open cube. So we are going to have this. So we have a net of an open cube, and this is what you'll notice about an open cube. Unlike the closed cube, an open cube has five faces, and all these faces are equal. So it has 5 faces which are all equal. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all these ones should be equal. Because we are saying it's a cube, all the edges should be equal. Then 2, The number of edges do not change. So it has 12 edges and all the edges are also equal. Then when we come to vertices, it has 8 vertices. Remember, we have said the vertices is a point. A vertex is a point where one or rather two or more edges meet. And when they are many, they are called vertices. So that is an open cube. It will have 5 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. So when you're getting the surface area, of such a cube, all sides equal, and it's open. And what we have said, with the close, we multiply the area of one side by 6. But when it is open, it has 5 faces. 5 faces. So to get the area, it will be area of one face, which is length times length. Then we multiply by 5. Because it has 5 faces. And all these 5 faces are equal. That is why we multiply length times 5. So we are going to do 2 examples. And then from there, we go to finding the length of the edges of a closed cube, an open cube, when given the total surface area. So I have a cube here. What is the total surface area of an open cube of sides 9 centimeters? What is the total surface area of an open cube of sides 9 centimeters? So we are going to come here, we write the formula that surface area is length times 5. So you're going to have 9, which is the side, times 9, then you multiply by 5. So remember, we have said 9 times 9 will give us the area of one face. So the area of one face of an open cube, this one is 81. Then you multiply by 5 to get the total area of the 5 faces of an open cube. So when we multiply, we are going to get 405 centimeters squared. So that is the total surface area of an open cube of sides 9 centimeters. So from there, I give you another example. Then we go to getting the length given the side of a cube. To find the side of a cube given the total surface area. So what is the total surface area of a cube of sides 13 centimeters? So I'll draw an open cube. So that's an open cube. It's open, so I'm going to show that it is open that way. And then we are told the length is 13 centimeters. So the question is, what is the total surface area of an open cube of sides 13 centimeters? So we come here, we say surface area of an open cube is equals to area of one face, that is length times length, then multiply by 5. So you're going to go and work out. Length is 13. We multiply by 13, then we multiply by 5. Remember, 13 times 13 is the area of one face of a cube. So this side, so length times length. Then we multiply by 5 because there are 5 of them and they are all equal. So when we multiply, we get 169, then we multiply by 5. What do we get? We are going to get 845 centimeters squared. So that is the total surface area of an open cube of sides 13 centimeters. So having done the total surface area, how do we get the length of one side of a cube given the total surface area when the cube is open? So I'm going to give you two examples. The question is, the total surface area of an open cube of an open cube is 1125 centimeters squared. So what is the length of one side of the cube? Or what is the length of one of the edges of the cube? So as we have said, we are going to draw a cube. We draw a cube. So we are going to draw a cube and we indicate that all sides are equal. So all sides are equal. We show that it is open. Then we have the surface area is 1125 and we are getting the length. What is the length? So what we have said is to get the total surface area is length multiplied by the length, then times 5. So to get the length, we are going to get the total surface area. Remember, the total surface area given here is the area of 5 faces which are all equal. The 5 faces which are all equal. So we are going to take the surface area, we divide by 5 because it is the area of the 5 faces which are equal. So we find the area of one face, then we find the square root to get the length of one of the edges. So you take the surface area, divide by 5 to get the area of one face, then find the square root to find the area, the length of one edge. So you are going to take 1125, we divide by 5, then we find the square root. So we are going to divide by 5, we get 1, by 5 we get 225 centimeters squared. So that is the area of one face. So to get the length of one side of the edge, we are going to, one edge of the cube, we are going to find the square root of this. We look for a number that when you multiply by itself gives you 225 and the number is 15. So the length of one side of the cube is 15 centimeters. That is example 1, to find the length of one side or one edge of a closed of an open cube given the total surface area. So I will do the next one. The total surface area of a cube, let me add, of an open cube is 2420 centimeters squared. So what is the total length of all the edges of the cube? Okay. Now the total surface area, this is surface area. The total surface area of an open cube is 2420 square centimeters. What is the total length of all the edges of the cube? So I'm going to draw a cube here. So we draw a cube. So we have this. This is a cube. All the sides are equal. The total surface area, we are told, is 2420 centimeters squared. And then we are told what is the total length of all the edges. Remember, the cube is open. So to find the surface area of an open cube, it is length times 5. Length times 5 to find the total surface area. Then to find the length, what have we done? We have said to find the length, you find the area of one face. That is, you take the total surface area, you divide by 5, Then after that you find the square root to get the area, the length of one of the edges of a cube. So when we do that, we are going to find the length. But the question is asking for the total length. But for you to get the total length of all the edges, you have to get the length of one edge. Then you multiply by the total number of edges. So you are going to say length is equals to surface area 2420. We divide by 5 to get the area of one face. Then we find the square root to get the length of one edge. So when we divide, we are going to have length is equals to, we cancel by 5, we get 1. We cancel by 5, we get 484. So centimeters squared. So the area of one face is 484. Then we find the square root of 484 to get the length of one edge. So the length of the one edge is square root of 484, which is 22 centimeters. So the length of one edge is 22 centimeters. But we have not answered the question. The question asks, what is the total length of all the edges? Now, we said at the beginning that a closed or an open cube has 12 edges, and these 12 edges are equal. So to find the total length, we are going to get a total length of all edges. We have its one edge multiplied by 12. The length of one edge you multiply by 12. So we are going to have 22, we multiply by 12. So when we multiply, what do we get? 264 centimeters. So that is the total length of all the edges. Now we have done how to find the total surface area of both closed and open cubes, and then we have also found out how to find the length of one edge of a cube given the total surface area. I want to give you one that you'll try at home. I want to give you one question that you're going to try at home. The total surface area of a cube of a closed cube is 1,350 centimeters squared. So what is the total of all the edges? So we have that the total surface area of a closed cube is 1,350 square centimeters. What is the total length of all the edges? Then I give you the last question of finding the length of a cube. And then I'm not going to ask the length, and I'm also not going to ask for the total length of edges. I'm going to ask for something else. So I have the total surface area of an open cube is 2,000 square centimeters. Then the question is, what is the volume? What is the volume of the cube? So the total surface area of an open cube is 2,000. Then the question asks, what is the volume of the cube? For you to get the volume, you have to get the length. You have to get the length of the cube. Then from there, you find the volume. So we are going to draw here. So I draw here a cube. And then I indicate it's open. like that, and then all the edges are equal. Then you repeat the whole process. To find the surface area of a cube, we have said is length of one side multiplied by the length, so that you may get the area of the one face, then multiply by 5 because it is open and it has 5 faces. Then we have been told that the surface area is 2,000 square centimeters. So the question is, what is the volume? So we have to find the length of one side. So to find the length, we have said you take the square root of the surface area divided by 5. So you're going to say length is equals to square root of 2,000 divided by 5. So we divide, we get 1, we get 400 centimeters squared. So that is the area of one face. So to find the length of one face, it will be square root of 400, which is 20 centimeters. So the length of this cube is 20 centimeters. One side or one edge is 20 centimeters, so each of that. So to get the volume, volume of a cube is length times length times length. Why do you say length times length times length? Simply because you have said it has 12 edges and all the edges are equal. So instead of the way we work out for the cylinder, for the cuboid, where we say it is length times width times height, the length and the width and the height are equal, and they are all equal because we have said all the edges of a cube are equal. So to find the volume, you are going to take the length, which is 20, multiply by 20, multiply by 20. So when you multiply, we are going to get 8,000 cubic centimeters. Now check the difference between the units for the area. A surface area, we give the square units. But when we come to volume, we have cubic units. So don't forget that the length also is no cubic, no square units, is just plain. So the length is given in the plain, either meters or centimeters. The area is either square meters or square centimeters, and the volume is either square or cubic meters or cubic centimeters. So we have come to the end of working out the total surface area of cubes, whether open or closed, and at the same time we have looked at how to find the length of one side of the cuboid, or of the cube. So at this time I want us to introduce the cuboid. We see the difference between a cube and a cuboid. So we will not find the square root, or we will not find the surface area, but we'll find the properties of a cuboid. So a cuboid will look like this, just similar to a cube. Now it will look like that. Now we say that a cube has all sides equal, but when we have a cuboid looks like this. So this is a box. Now when we have a box, we are going to have this edge, this one, and this one. So this one, and this one are not equal in this case. Unlike where we had the cube where we said all the edges are equal, in a cuboid, not all the edges are equal. So we have this length. As you can see, this one is not the same as that. And only that disqualifies this to be a cube. So this side is not the same as this. So just those two, or rather if you have only one pair of edges which are not equal, disqualifies this to be a cube. So it becomes a cuboid. However, you may have a cube whereby this side and this one are equal. So we say it's a cuboid of a square base. So the base is a square, whereby this side and this one are equal. So when we have this, we can say that this is length. So we have the length. Then we are going to get this as the height, and then we have this as the width. So if the width and the length and the width are equal, that is called a square-based cube, whereby the length and the width are equal and the base will be a square. However, the height must be different for it to be a cuboid. If all the others are equal, all the edges are equal, the length, the width, and the height are equal, is a cube. But if they are different, like in this case, it's a cuboid. And that is the difference between a cube and a cuboid. So a cuboid has no equal length and width and the height. They are all not all equal, but we have said you can have the length and the width equal to make it a square-based cuboid. So if I draw the net of a closed cuboid, okay, so I have this. So I have the net. So I have the following faces. Just like the cube, we have 1, I have 2, I have the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth face. So it will have 6 faces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. So a closed cuboid, so let me write like this: faces, edges, and vertices. It will have 6 faces when it is closed. So closed has 6 faces. Now what you'll notice about my net here, I want to take you through something very important. You should know when we have this net, and before it to have this cuboid like this one, we are going to have the following faces which are equal. This one will be equals to this, equals to this, equals to this, and equals to that. So if we fold it to have a cuboid, then we are going to have this face is equal. Then something very important is also that this face, we start it like this face, this one, this one, this one, and this one together with this one, and this one, then this one, they'll also be equal. So when we fold it, these 4 faces or these edges will be equal. So then from there we have these others. Here we have 4, or rather let me mark with 1. So this one, this one, this one, and this one will also be equal together with this one. So we have that. Those ones will be equal. Then when we make it a cube, we are going to find that these 2 edges will meet to become 1. These 2 will meet to become 1. So we are going to fold it, and we are going to have 1. Then this one and this one will meet to become 1 edge. This one and this one will meet to become 1 edge. Then this one, let me call it H, will combine with this to become 1 edge. And then we have this one, let me call this is K. They are going to meet and become 1 edge together with this. This one, let me call it M and M. When we fold it, they'll become 1 edge. So that is very important point to note about the edges and the edges and the faces of a cuboid. So when we have the edges, how many edges will a cuboid have when it is open or when it is closed? So I have this, so we are going to count together. So when I hold it like this, I have 1 edge, then 2, then I have 3 and 4. Then I turn it. I will have 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then I'll turn it, I'll have 10, 11, and then I have this one 12. So it will have 12 edges when it is closed. Then vertices. Vertices, we have said, when it is one is called a vertex, and a vertex is a point where two or more edges meet. So we have this edge, this one, and this one, they meet at here. So they are corners. So how many corners do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I turn 5, 6, 7, and 8. So those are 8 vertices. So it has 8 vertices. So a closed cuboid will have 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. What about when it is open? When it is open, I'll just open mine here. Now open means there is one face which is missing. So now I have opened it. So we don't have this face. So how many faces remain? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one. So it will remain with 5 faces. What about the edges? What you should know is that the edges do not change. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have 9, 10, 11, and 12. So the number of edges do not change. What about the vertices? The vertices are the corners where we have said it's where 1, 2 or more edges meet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they remain 8. So we have closed open, or closed and open. Open has 5 faces and closed has 6 faces. The only difference between the two cuboids, when it is open and when it is closed. We'll come to find more differences when we'll be working on the total surface area. Yeah, so we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you have learned more about the surface area of closed and open cubes, as well as the properties of a cuboid. So next, we'll do something different from what we have done today. So keep watching Elimu Live every day from Monday to Friday, 8:15 to 10:15 in the morning. Otherwise from me, bye and have a nice day.